Here is a recommendation for a 10-day trip to Scotland and Ireland, especially for those of us who prefer not to drive in these countries. The trip starts with a flight to London. After an overnight in London, we took the 5-hour countryside train ride to Edinburgh. The East Coast train departs from a very busy King Cross station in London that is also famous for the Harry Potter 9 3/4 platform. We were surprised to see that the platform actually exists.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. From two passengers just joined this service here at Dublin. For the service is Newcastle, book time arrival at 12:13 each for the bound after Edinburgh at 14:50.
You can see the countryside much better riding on the train, and you also have bathrooms available throughout the ride. Buying train tickets in advance are cheaper, and in first class they will give you complimentary sandwiches and soft drinks. There is also a bar available. In Edinburgh, we stayed at the Apex Hotel, highly recommended and located right behind the Edinburgh Castle. There are many souvenir shops and pub restaurants on the main street which leads to the castle. The castle is a must-visit site, and it has a beautiful view of the city and the bay. We were lucky to be there on the last day of the summer festival, and at night they had a fireworks display from the top of the castle. After 2 nights in Edinburgh, we headed to Belfast, Northern Ireland. In order to get there, you need to take the train to Stranraer, which is a small town on the Scottish west coast, and from there you board the ferry to Belfast. The Stena Navigator ferry is like a small-scale cruise ship with 7 decks, 2 small movie theaters, restaurants, bars, and a souvenir shop. We purchased the club-level access on the upper deck and a great view for £16 a person. Soft drinks, wine, and snacks are complimentary, and we also ordered a nice lunch of fish and chips, which we paid for. After sailing for 3.5 hours, we reached Belfast and took a taxi to our downtown hotel. Belfast is not set up as a pure tourist town like Edinburgh, and that is part of the city charm. It is also less crowded. Belfast is considered to be the second safest city in Europe, and for that we felt safe to wander at night and go to the pubs. The pub of choice is Fibber McGee across the street from the Europa Hotel, and it is part of the Robinson Pub complex. The pub is full of locals that came to drink, listen to music, and have fun. The next day, we took a bus tour along the coastal route to see some of Northern Ireland's famous sites for £16 a person. We boarded the bus at 9:30 in the morning and cruised through the beautiful coastal region named Antrim. We stopped at the Rope Bridge. The bridge itself is not difficult to cross, but there are approximately 200 steps going down to the bridge from the cliff, and what goes down must come up. The walk along the edge of the cliff is beautiful. You pass by sheep and cows that come so close you can actually touch them. The next stop was the Giant Causeway, Northern Ireland's most famous natural wonder. The tour bus is not allowed to go down to the actual causeway, but they have a shuttle bus that goes up and down to see the site. The bus ride costs £1 each way. On the way back, just a couple miles away, the tour bus stopped by the Bushmills Distillery, which is located in a town named Bushmills. Bushmills is a famous Northern Ireland Irish whiskey maker. The next day, we boarded the train to Dublin. This was the nicest train of all the trains we have been on so far. The ride takes 2.5 hours. We have been told that in Ireland you must stay in a bed and breakfast for the real Irish experience. We chose the Aberley House, 2 miles north of city center. Dublin is set up very well for tourists, and there are many companies that offer tours to different sites. We chose to take the railway tours, which we actually purchased a week in advance on the internet. The trip is more expensive than others, but also more convenient because it combines train ride and bus to where the train cannot reach. The tour's first stop was Bunratty Castle. The castle itself is not very big, with spiral staircases inside leading to claustrophobic rooms. Next to the castle, there is a village that shows the houses and lifestyle of the people back around the 1600s. The tour guide explained that at that time, if the king gave a castle to the person, all the area within sight became his, and whoever owned a farm on that property had to pay taxes to the castle owner, which created a great deal of resentment. After a lunch stop at an Irish pub in Duluth, we continued on to the Cliffs of Moher. The cliffs are a famous site in Ireland, which is a recommended place to visit. The walk up the hill towards the cliffs is not hard, and the view is beautiful. The ride back was a nice drive via the Galway Bay. As part of the tour package, we also received 2 hop-on, hop-off Dublin City Tour bus tickets, which we used extensively. The bus stopped at the Guinness Brewery. The place has a museum on the bottom floors and the Gravity Bar at the top floor, which has a great view of the city. The Gravity Bar is always very crowded because each guest is allowed 1 free pint of Guinness. There is also a great gift shop. Another bus stop is the Jameson Distillery. Jameson whiskey is not being distilled in Dublin anymore, but you can take a guided tour in the place and visit the gift shop and the bar. On the last day of the trip, we did a pub tour where we sat and listened to traditional Irish music in famous pubs such as John Gogarty and Temple Bar.